Hi, this is Helen Fischel from the Delaware Center for Horticulture. I'm Director of Education. Today I'm going to read you Ant and Bee and the Rainbow, a book by Angela Banner. This story comes to us from England from many years ago. This story is all about how Ant and Bee saw a rainbow. Ant wished he could play on the rainbow. Bee said no one could play on a real rainbow, so Ant said they must find a make-believe rainbow that they could play on. Suddenly, the real rainbow disappeared, and Ant and Bee began to look for something that could be a make-believe rainbow. Soon Ant and Bee found something that could be a make-believe rainbow. Ant and Bee found an old rubber tire that nobody wanted anymore. Bee said the rest of the rubber tire was under the earth. Ant said they would make half the rubber tire into a make-believe rainbow. But the old rubber tire did not look pretty as the rainbow, so Ant and Bee said they would paint the rubber tire to look pretty as the rainbow. So Ant and Bee happily began to paint the rubber tire with a color called, red. Then Ant and Bee painted the rubber tire with a color called yellow. You guessed right. Then Ant and Bee painted the rubber tire with the color called blue. Then Ant and Bee were very pleased with their make-believe rainbow. Ant said he would have a lovely time swinging under the make-believe rainbow. Well, that's silly. So Bee helped Ant to string up a swing on the make-believe rainbow. Then Ant began to swing up, down, up. But Ant did not look where he was swinging. Ant knocked 2 pots of paint over. The 2 pots of paint fell over and mixed together, and the yellow paint and the blue paint mixed together to make the color called green. There's green behind me. Ant was so pleased about the color called green because Ant said green was his favorite color. Ant said he would paint his swing green. Ant loved his green swing so much that Bee said he would make a swing too. But while Bee was making his swing, Bee got his wings tangled together and then Bee fell. Bee fell into a pot of red paint. Ant said now Bee was red as an ant, and Ant laughed so much that he fell off his swing, and guess what Ant fell into? Ant fell into a pot of yellow paint. And the red paint dripped off Bee, and the yellow paint dripped off Ant, and the yellow and the red drips of paint mixed together into a little pool of a color called orange. Bee said they must go and wash, so Ant and Bee went to swim in a large puddle of rainwater. Soon Ant and Bee had washed off all the yellow and red paint. Then Bee said he would paint his swing the color called orange because he said that orange was his favorite color. Then Ant and Bee tried to swing higher than the other. After a while, Ant and Bee decided they would play tennis with their bats and balls. So Ant and Bee fetched their net to play tennis. Ant said he would not play until he had painted his bat a nice color. Ant said he would mix the red and blue to make a lovely color called violet. Ant liked his violet-colored bat so much. Then Bee wanted his bat to be painted too. Bee said he would paint his bat too. Bee said he would mix up the red and the blue and the yellow. Bee mixed, and Bee made the color called brown, just like our soil of our garden. Bee had a brown bat, Ant had a violet bat. Then Ant and Bee played together, but the ball kept hitting the swings by mistake. When Ant and Bee stopped playing, they sat on the top of their make-believe rainbow, and Ant and Bee looked up at the sky. The sky was pale blue. Ant said he liked pale blue. There were fluffy white clouds in the pale blue sky. Bee said he liked white too. The clouds became pink as the sun went down. Both Ant and Bee liked pink. Then suddenly the sky turned gray. Soon it would be night and bedtime. Then the sky looked almost black because now it was nighttime. So Ant and Bee went home to bed. All through the night it rained and rained. And the rain washed off the paint off Ant and Bee's make-believe rainbow, and the rain washed the paint off Ant and Bee's swings, and the rain washed off all the paint on Ant and Bee's bats, and the wind blew away Ant and Bee's 2 swings and their net and their 2 bats. The next morning the sun came out, and Ann and Bee again saw a rainbow. Lucky them. Then the rainbow disappeared. Now Ann and Bee could see that their make-believe rainbow was really not pretty anymore. But Ann and Bee said they liked painting it so much they would paint the rubber tire to look as pretty as the rainbow all over again. So Ann and Bee happily began to paint their make-believe rainbow all over again. Goodbye. Thanks for joining me for a story today. Be outside and enjoy your garden. Bye.